The Architecture of Departure. Why you cannot read your own script. By a triple lens investigator. Prologue. The flaw in the footlights. Imagine the most famous actor in the world. Now, imagine they have never seen the audience. They have never seen the back of the stage, the dusty rigging, or the fire escape. They have been on stage since birth, believing the wooden boards are the entire universe. This actor is you. For 20 years, behavioral research has confirmed a haunting truth. 95% of our daily decisions are driven by subconscious scripts written before we turn 7. For a century, psychoanalysis has warned that the ego is a master of disguise, hiding its own motivations behind a curtain of logic. And for just as long, investigative journalism has revealed that the most dangerous lies are not told by criminals, but by systems that have convinced good people they are free. This essay is not a self-help pamphlet. It is an autopsy of the self. We are going to examine the corpse of the role you think you are. And we are going to discover that the only way to read the script is to burn the stage. What if your deepest identity, the real you, is actually the most elaborate character you have ever invented to avoid looking at the empty theater behind you? The Pathology of Performance, the Behavioral Research Lens. Where we dissect the habit loops that masquerade as personality. Let us begin with the laboratory, because the data does not lie, even if the patient does. Behavioral research, from the cold corridors of Pavlov to the modern fMRI machines at Stanford, has demolished the myth of the singular, consistent self. You are not a noun. You are a verb in a bad feedback loop. Consider the habit loop. Cue, routine, reward. Most people believe their morning grumpiness is part of their identity. Wrong. The behaviorist sees the alarm, cue, the complaint, routine, and the cortisol spike that creates alertness, reward. The grumpiness is not you. It is a piece of stage business you learned because it worked once in high school. But here is the investigative twist the gurus miss. The role engulfs the actor. In the infamous Stanford prison experiment, Zimbardo, 1971, the researchers had to stop the experiment because the guards became sadists and the prisoners became catatonic. No one gave a new script. They simply forgot they were acting. When you play the role of the anxious parent, the dominant CEO, or the wounded lover, after 66 days, the average time to automate a behavior, the neural pathway, is a ditch. You stop driving the car. The ditch drives you. The most dangerous role is the authentic self. Behavioral economics calls this the endowment effect. We overvalue what we already own, including our labels. I am a creative person. I am not a morning person. I am loyal to a fault. These are not truths. They are behavioral fossils. They are scripts you memorized so long ago that the paper has turned to dust, but you still recite the lines nightly. The investigative question. If your most cherished personality trait were suddenly illegal or unprofitable tomorrow, could you drop it without a flicker of grief? If not, you are not a person with a habit. You are a hostage. The psychoanalyst is now walking onto our crime scene. She is carrying a smelling salt and a scalpel. She says the behaviorist only measured the scream she wants to find the original wound. The grand delusion, the psychoanalytic lens. Where we unearth the repressed script that runs the projector. Freud was wrong about many things. The Oedipus complex is overrated. Cocaine is a cure-all, less so. But he was terrifyingly correct about one thing. The ego is not the master of its own house. You are a rider on an elephant, the id, or primal drives, and you believe you are steering it, when in reality you are just narrating where it decides to go. To analyze the role you play, we must investigate the attachment script. By age 3, you learned a 3-act play. Act 1. How to get love, the pleasing role. Act 2. How to avoid pain, the withdrawing role. Act 3. How to punish those who disappoint, the righteous role. For 30 years, you will replay these acts in boardrooms, bedrooms, and voting booths. You will change the sets, the costumes, the co-stars. But the dialogue? Same as at 3 years old. The masterstroke of psychoanalytic defense is projection. You do not see the stage. You see a movie screen. If you are playing the victim role, you will find perpetrators everywhere. If you are playing the rescuer, you will find broken people to fix. If you are playing the prosecutor, you will find villains. The role creates the reality. You do not react to the world. You cast the world according to your script. Here is the investigator's evidence. Look at your deepest conflicts. Is it possible, just possible, that you need that conflict to exist to validate your role? If your narcissistic parents suddenly became healthy, what would happen to your identity as the survivor? If your job stopped being stressful, what would happen to your identity as the hard worker? You would have to exit the stage. And that terrifies the actor more than any bomb. Question: think of the person you resent most right now. If they apologized perfectly and changed completely, would you feel relief or a strange, unnameable grief? Because if you feel grief, they aren't your enemy. They are your co-star. And you are addicted to the play. But what if the stage is on fire? What if the role you are playing is silently killing you, like carbon monoxide? The journalist puts down the psychoanalyst's couch and picks up the subpoena. The expose of the institution self. Where investigative journalism reveals the structural collapse behind the facade. We have looked inside the mind. Now we look at the architecture of your life. An investigative journalist knows that individual pathology is rarely individual. It is structural. When a building collapses, you don't blame the bricks. You blame the architect, the inspector, the zoning laws. Your role is propped up by three structural pillars. 1. The pillar of routine. Your calendar. The places you go, the people you see, the notifications you allow. 2. The pillar of reinforcement. The social media likes, the salary deposits, the thank yous, the jealous glances. 3. The pillar of acknowledgement. The mirrors. Not glass mirrors, but human mirrors, the spouse who knows you as the responsible one, the boss who knows you as the firefighter, the friend who knows you as the mess. The investigation. I subpoena your last 3 years. Evidence shows you have spent 2,500 hours being the reliable parent. You have received 12,000 likes for being funny. You have been called the strong one 400 times. Of course, you cannot drop the role. The entire infrastructure of your life has been built around the role, not around you. This is the hostile architecture of identity. Just as cities install spikes on benches to prevent sleeping, your life installs rewards to prevent changing. If you stopped being the ambitious one, your social circle would short-circuit. They would say, "Are you okay?" They don't want you well. They want you on script. And here is the crime scene. Burnout. Clinical burnout is not just exhaustion. It is the ego's final, desperate attempt to exit the stage when the actor has forgotten the exit door exists. Depression is not a chemical imbalance. It is a rebellion against a role that no longer fits. The symptom is the exit. The question: if you stripped away your job title, your family role, mother, son, breadwinner, and your personality, the funny one, the serious one, and sat in a gray room with no mirrors, would you feel liberated or annihilated? Your answer reveals whether you have a role or the role has you. We now reach the precipice. The behaviorist measured the chains. The analyst named the chains. The journalist photographed the chains. But how do you remove them without a key? The answer is the most terrifying sentence you will read today. The Art of the Strategic Exit. Where we synthesize the lenses into a method. And where we answer the riddle of the stage. You cannot fix the play from inside the play. You cannot read the back of your own head. You cannot see the stage lights while you are looking at the lead actor. The three disciplines agree on the diagnosis but hide the cure. The cure is not more therapy, more habits, or more investigation. The cure is the strategic exit. This is not running away. Running away is changing the set, moving cities, changing jobs, divorcing the spouse, while keeping the script. That is the most common mistake of the desperate. They exit the stage, but they bring the play with them. A narcissist in Paris is still a narcissist. The strategic exit is different. It is a phenomenological suspension. You voluntarily step off the stage and sit in the empty theater. You watch the play you were just in. And for the first time, you ask the only question that matters. What was my function? Phase 1. The freeze, behavioral. Stop all non-essential routines for 48 hours. No phone. No duties. Do not be anyone. Notice the physical agony, the itch to perform, to produce, to be seen. That agony is not you. That is the withdrawal symptom of a habit addict. Phase 2. The witness, psychoanalytic. As you watch the memory of your life, do not ask, "Why did I do that?" Ask, "What role was I playing? The mother? The martyr? The genius? The clown?" List them. Now ask, "Who wrote this?" It wasn't you. It was trauma, culture, or a parent. Phase 3. The subpoena, investigative. Follow the money, the dopamine, and the validation. Who benefits from your staying in this role? Your boss? Your mother? Your own superego? When you realize the role is a product that serves others, the spell breaks. The result? You see that you were not the Prince of Denmark. You were the gravitiger. Or the ghost. Or the rope. And the tragedy was not that you played a minor part, the tragedy was that you thought the play was real. The call to action. You have listened to this presentation. You have been hooked, questioned, and dissected. Now you must act. I am not asking you to burn your life down. I am asking you to do something far more terrifying. Schedule a date with the exit. Tomorrow morning, for exactly 1 hour, do not play any role. Do not be the employee, the partner, the parent, the friend, the student, or the seeker. Do not be authentic. Do not be spiritual. Be nothing. Sit in a chair. If a thought comes that begins with "I should" or "I am," recognize it as a line from the script. Do not say it. When the hour ends, write one sentence. The role I am most addicted to is, and I realize now that it is a costume cage contract. Then, do one physical act that contradicts that role. If you are the responsible one, be late on purpose. If you are the helper, refuse a request. If you are the victim, refuse to tell the story. This is not chaos. This is the first breath of air outside the theater. And finally, tell one person the truth. Not the dramatic truth of the play. The boring, terrifying truth. I don't know who I am when I'm not performing. Watch them recoil. Or watch them weep with relief. Either way, you will have broken the fourth wall. Food for thought. The empty theater. We return to the riddle. Sometimes, only by exiting the stage, you can see and realize, actually, what your role was in that specific play. Let us walk into the empty theater one last time. The lights are off. The velvet is moth-eaten. On the floor, forgotten, lies a tattered script. You pick it up. It is the play of your life. You expect grand language, Shakespearean soliloquies. But as you read, you see it as a farce. A simple, repetitive loop. And then you notice the stage directions. At the bottom of every page, in tiny, desperate handwriting, the same instruction. Exit, pursued by a bear. You spend your whole life running from the bear. The bear was the fear of meaninglessness. The bear was the void. But here, outside the stage, in the cold dark of the real world, you realize the truth that no actor ever learns until it is too late. The bear was never in the theater. The bear was in the script. And the script only exists because you are holding it. You put the script down. You walk up the aisle. You push the heavy red door. The sunlight is blinding. There is no bear. There is no stage. There is no role. There is only the terrifying, glorious, silent question, now that you aren't acting. What will you do next? Please tell me what you think and how you feel about this issue. Analyze it, brainstorm it, debate it, and if you like it, please share it. Thank you for watching. I truly and highly appreciate you, and God bless you.